Jeffrey Lin here, back with another chronic illness and rare disease tutorial. I'm going to answer the question I get a lot, which is how do you bring your medical injection onto a plane so that you can travel with it, whether you need to use it on board or if you just need to use it while you're traveling abroad, whatever. So the TSA, which is America's Airport Security, for those living in other countries, TSA is what we call our security. The TSA actually allows you to bring your syringes, injections, in your checked luggage. They also let you bring it on board with your carry-on luggage, and that's what we're going to talk about, because I don't really think you should put your injections with your checked luggage. It's just, I don't like having to be separate from my medication. I always need it with me, or at least I need a big chunk of it with me, and then I'll have some of the backup in the checked luggage. But I want to have most of my medication with me on board with the carry-on, because a lot of times luggages get lost, especially if you're transferring at different airports, and you know, sometimes they just get stolen. So it is really hard to get injection medication when you're traveling, especially for like my injection Dupixent. It's probably only available in like 4 or 5 developed countries. So a lot of places I've been to, it's not available.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boy.
What's up? It's Jeffrey Lin. For those of you who don't know my story, I was born with multiple immune chronic illnesses and have been living with that every single moment of my life. It's more like a rare disease, mysterious disease that doctors don't fully know what it is or how to deal with it, and we've just been figuring it out as we go. What they've identified is probably like the top 3 or 5 most severe eczema that research doctors have ever seen, as well as the most severe allergies and asthma. I literally react to everything on the planet. There's nothing that you can name on the planet, any food, anything in the environment that I'm not toxically allergic to. So that means it's just not having a runny nose or watery eyes. It's like I'm coming into like a bioweapon or toxins. So the whole world is very dangerous to me. For my eczema, I have had full body eczema from head to toe. Literally everything on my body was leaking. I looked like a burn victim for part of the time. I've had that wet, leaky eczema where it's my whole body's infected and it's just oozing goo. And I've also had dry eczema where the skin is just cracked and I look like a lizard. The whole skin feels like a rubber suit on you, and not being able to move just because every inch of my body is cracked and bleeding, and it hurts. So I've also had to deal with all the emotional issues that comes with that. So on my channel, I'm just sharing my experiences and kind of figuring things out, sort of like life hacking, because a lot of the things that I've had to deal with is, like I said, doctors literally just have never seen it before. And so this is a journey of how to deal with situations that are unknown and life-threatening, and it's like in real time you're just figuring out problems. So I'm here to share a lot of tips and tutorials and strategies, and even just like how mentally I deal with this. So if that sounds interesting to you, please hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification button so you don't miss any of the newer videos that are going to come out. The TSA actually makes it quite simple for you to bring medications on board, and the injections are no different. So all you have to do is, before you get on the flight, you do need your doctor's note, but you should have a doctor's note for every medication you bring with you. And you need the prescription, which is basically, you can just use the label that the medications comes in, or that's on the box. So I usually just bring like a cutout of the box or the box itself. And after that, you should notify the airline, call them up and tell them you're bringing a syringe on board or injection on board. Double check with them, make sure they have a place to store it. If your injection is like mine, where it has to be kept cool, like I usually need to keep this in the fridge. So just double check with the airline and make sure they have a little tiny fridge for you on the plane where the flight attendant can store it for you. On travel day, if your medication needs to be cool like mine, all you have to do is bring one of these insulated lunch boxes, and also some blue ice. And put this in there along with your medication. And that should be able to keep your medication cool from the time you leave the house until you get on the plane, when the flight attendant will put it into their fridge on the plane. And then the ice pack should give you enough time when you get off the plane to make it to your final destination, your hotel, and then you put your medication into the hotel's refrigerator there. So on travel day, once you get to the airline counter where you're checking in, just double check with them at the desk that they know that you're bringing a syringe on board, and that they do have a place for you to store it, and that they have it in their notes so that the flight attendants and maybe even the captain will know that you're bringing this sharp object on board. The TSA has never stopped me or checked my bags when I'm scanning it during the security check. So they're pretty lenient on that. And once you get on board, just it's your responsibility to tell the flight attendant, just double check with them again that they do know you're bringing something sharp on board, and you should hand it over so that they have it in storage, whether if it's in the refrigerator or just somewhere else that's safe. And if you do need your injection on board, I guess for people with diabetes that need their injections, you let them know, and you just ask them for it when it's time for your injection. And the last point is, don't forget to get your medication from the flight attendant when you're getting off the plane. And that's it. It's really that simple. So again, to recap, get a doctor's note and have the medication label with you, and call the airline and just let them know you're bringing an injection, a sharp object on board for medical purposes. And the travel day, make sure you have a nice insulated lunch bag to keep your medication cool, along with an ice pack. And just double check with them at the counter, check-in counter, that they do know that you're bringing medication on board, injection on board. And when you get on the plane, give your medication to the flight attendant and just let them know any details specific to your injection that they might need to know. And finally, when you get to your destination, when you land, remember to get the injection back from the flight attendant. And that's it. Have fun on your trip, and best of luck with you. If you felt this tutorial was helpful, or you're interested in some of the other things that I might talk about in the future, remember to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button.